few weeks I will get time to realize it's right before my eyes, and I can take it if it's...
Alright, so here's number 5. This is the last question for our practice problems video. We're going to prove this identity here, which looks a bit crazy. But on the left side, what we can do first of all is say, okay, wait, we don't know any difference or any subtraction identity for tangent, but we do know that tangent is equal to sine over cosine, right? So we can break up the left side into saying sine pi over 4 minus t over cosine of that same thing, okay? Alrighty, so that's what the left side equals. So we're just going to start with the left side, okay, and we'll work through. So we can use the subtraction identities for both sine and cosine to break these up into smaller terms. So for the top, we're going to have sine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle. We're going to keep the sine the same in the middle, okay, and then we're just going to swap the angles for the second term here. And then cosine of pi over 4. So that's what the top is, okay? The bottom is going to be cosine of pi over 4 times cosine of the other angle. We're going to switch the sign in between, so we're going to put a plus sign there, and then we're going to take sine of both of those angles and a sine of t. Okay, so the thing is, we know how to simplify these things, this sine pi over 4, cosine pi over 4, for all of these. So let's do that on the next line. We have radical 2 over 2 cosine t minus radical 2 over 2 sine t. Okay, now on the bottom we have radical 2 over 2, we're going to see a lot of those, cosine t plus radical 2 over 2 and sine t. Okay, so the thing is, we can factor out a radical 2 over 2 from both the top and the bottom, and they kind of just cancel everywhere, right? So let me just write that out so we can see what's actually going on. So if we factor that out of the top, and we can also factor out that same radical 2 over 2 from the bottom, okay? So those ones cancel out on the top and bottom, so we don't have those anymore. But now we're down to cosine t minus sine t over cosine t plus sine t, okay? So now so this is the left side. This is all we've been working with. We've kind of just been ignoring the right side, right? So, correct. So this is the left side. Left-hand side, and we can't really do anything further from here. It's not really clear where to go. So now let's work from the right side and see if we can get to this stage here that we've reached already. Okay? So let's continue this on the next slide. So on the right-hand side, we have this 1 minus tangent t over, so let me write, this is the right-hand side, okay? So we have 1 minus tangent t over 1 plus tangent t. And here's a little side note. This is the stage which we obtained on the last slide, or on the previous slide, from working with the left-hand side. Cosine t minus sine t over cosine t plus sine t. So this is what we obtained from the left-hand side on the previous slide. So this is what we're kind of aiming for, sort of. Okay, so let's just rewrite this right-hand side in terms of just sine and cosine. So this is like 1 minus sine t over cosine t, and on the bottom we have 1 plus a sine t over cosine t. Okay, so let's say we multiply the top by cosine t, and we multiply the bottom by cosine t. So this is kind of just like multiplying by a 1, right, this whole fraction there. Okay, so on the top we actually just get cosine t minus sine t. Okay, those ones cancel out here, right? And then we have on the bottom a cosine t plus sine t, which looks pretty darn perfect to me. And that means from working from the right-hand side, we reach something that we reached from the left-hand side as well. Okay, so since these are equal, we have just proved the identity, and we're good to go. Alright, so that wraps up our practice problems video on addition and subtraction identities. I hope that helps, and good luck on your homework.